So we're going to get into our first main topic. Now, our first main topic is a little bit different this week because we have our special guest on, and we thought that our audience would like to kind of know a little bit more about Jamie. I'm sure that those of you that do know him will know lots of things already, but we kind of wanted to put some questions to Jamie and get to find out a little bit more about Jamie's Lego journey, if that is all right with you, Jamie.
Absolutely.
Okay, so obviously everybody knows you as the brick educator. What I wanted to know initially is, how did you end up working for Lego?
So my official job is not working for Lego. So I'll go back to where it kind of all started with my Lego journey and kind of how I got to where I am now. So in 2014, I started working at Legoland in Windsor. So I started as the education workshop assistant, running the school workshops for trips that came in. So it could be robotics, engineering, English, history, anything you can kind of teach with Lego. I ran those workshops with my wife, Ellie, and then there was another lady called Laura. So it was a team of three of us, and we would basically run the education department. In 2015, I then was promoted to team leader. 2016, the education manager. So I then got to look after the entire department, doing the marketing, sales, general running of the day-to-day stuff as well. So I still get to do Lego workshops, but I was mainly actually managing the entire school and group division of Legoland Windsor, which was really good fun. Whilst I was doing that, I was invited to go to Billund, and then I did my Lego education certification. So I did a week's worth of Lego training, and I was basically certified to train teachers how to use Lego in the classroom to engage students with learning. So not only just with Lego education sets, but with learning through play in general. So it's like, how can you engage students that aren't particularly keen on learning by being just talked at? How can they learn with their hands and being more interactive? And especially through Lego was the main kind of push and catalyst for playful learning experiences. Like, we know Lego can be like, it's a powerful learning tool at the best of times. When you add a motor to it and get it moving, you're suddenly learning about engineering, computing, robotics, you name it, you can learn with it. So I did that, and then I've been doing that since, as I mentioned, 2015 I was certified, which brings me up till today. So 2020, me and my wife left the UK to go travelling. Obviously the pandemic happened, travelling was cancelled, and we've been living in Bulgaria because my wife is Bulgarian. We came to see her family before we kind of left for Asia, but the country locked down literally the week we arrived, and we've been here since then. So 2.5 years later, we're still in Bulgaria. During that time, we found a company that was selling Lego education sets, brand new in Bulgaria, still very expensive because of the conversion rate. So Lego don't like to market, or they don't like to lift any sort of conversion fees. They will literally charge the Lego as they would in the UK in other countries. And because the lev, which is the Bulgarian currency, is currently 2.3 lev to the pound, every Lego set becomes twice as expensive because you're being paid on a Bulgarian salary, not a UK salary. So a £50 Lego set suddenly becomes £100. So it's still very small community of Lego, not only Lego collectors, but Lego builders in schools, and just in general, Lego is not really a thing here, which is why you see a lot of third-party Lego bricks, which I've been trying to explore on my channel, showing if you can't afford Lego, this is available at a much cheaper cost, available to you living in different countries. And a lot of people question me, why do I talk about third-party brick construction sets? It's because people can't afford Lego in certain places, and these are alternatives. Yes, they're not Lego, but they're just as good quality, and sometimes better, in my personal opinion, because of what you get. Sometimes they're not better, sometimes they are awful, but sometimes you get some pretty decent ones. So, long story short, we found this company that had just started up, and then I then contacted Lego Education through my previous work at Legoland and said, look, I'm a certified trainer. Do you need help in Bulgaria whilst we're here? Yes, they did. We've been doing Lego Education trainings for 2.5 years. Me and my wife do them together. I'm the certified trainer. Ellie, my wife, she translates everything into Bulgarian because my Bulgarian is very basic at best. There's no way I can run a full professional teacher training in Bulgarian. So we do it together, and we got to travel the entire country. meeting all these amazing teachers that want to improve the face of education in Bulgaria with a passion for Lego, which is fantastic for me because that's where my passion lies. It's Lego bricks, it's learning through play, construction sets, learning with your hands. So that's kind of my journey in a nutshell. So even though I work with Lego education, I don't actually work for Lego. I'm a freelancer technically, but I work under the Lego education umbrella, and I work on behalf of them rather than for them. So I can still do social media, I can still do videos, I can still work with non-Lego products because they don't really have much of a say in what I do because I am my own company, essentially. Even though I work with the brand, I don't work for the brand, which gives me a nice bit of flexibility. And that's basically where I am. That's what I do.
That is amazing. Obviously, some people may know this and some people might not, but I am a teacher. I teach in primary education, but my key role is I kind of lead computing across a trust of schools. So across a group of schools, I lead computing. And my big thing at the moment is kind of how can we link computing into more practical things, because so often it is just sat on an iPad or sat on a computer. Yeah. So how can we make it more practical? So we're introducing things like the robotics, Lego robotics and things at the moment, which obviously for me it's amazing because it means I get to go to work and play with Lego as well, just like you do. And it is the best.
It's so much fun because not only do we enjoy it as teachers, but obviously the students engage straight away because all they think they're doing is playing. But what they're actually doing is learning just through a hands-on experience. And you often find, like Sam with yourself, if you're passionate about Lego and teaching and learning in a new way, the students notice that and they want to learn because you want to teach them. I think a lot of teachers that I've come across, and from my previous teaching experience as well, is you're very bound to a curriculum and you're bound to getting the students through exams and they need to get a certain amount of points to pass. But actually what we need to be teaching them is the skills of learning, not just what to learn, but how to learn. And with hands-on subjects like computing and robotics, you can't just tell someone how to do it. They need to experience it themselves. And that's, for me, is the power with Lego learning, is because you don't tell them the answer. They build and play and they share their version of the answer. And what you're then grading is their learning journey. Rather than saying, yes, you're a great builder and what you've made is amazing, what you're actually doing is seeing how they've worked together as a team. What skills have they used? What have they built on their journey? How have they communicated that effectively? And Sam, I'm sure you would agree, like with computing, such a difficult subject to teach because, as you said, it's very either tablet-based or computing-based. It's hard to kind of see what they have learned. But through cooperative experiences and working in like collaborative nature, especially when we're building robots and you can kind of see them doing it. Sorry, Josh, for not really including you in this.
Fine, I'm happy to listen, so you guys can.
But yeah, it's just a really interesting way because children learn through play. That's how we learn as adults, even though we don't always realise it. But that's just fundamental learning. You learn by doing and by being allowed to make mistakes as well. Like Lego, for example, if you build Lego wrong, it's fine. You take it apart, you build it again. Or you go back a couple of steps. When you're an adult, if you make a mistake, it's almost like the end of the world. Like, you can't make a mistake as an adult. Whereas children need to be encouraged to make mistakes in the classroom because there's not really any repercussions. It's like they shouldn't be being told off for doing something wrong because that's how they learn. They learn by making mistakes and doing things again. And for me, that's the power of Lego in the classroom, is it gives you that platform to do that. And Sam, have you started robotics yet with Lego, or is it still quite new in your school?
Yeah, I think, well, I've kind of started it in a few schools, but I think like you've said, you're doing the teacher training, aren't you? So training teachers on how to kind of deliver this stuff. And that's a lot of what I'm doing at the moment, because I think, like you've just said, teachers have an adult mindset of if I get something wrong, it's the end of the world. They don't have this mindset of just picking something up and having a go and just trying it. And so a lot of my role at the moment is teaching teachers how to teach computing. And it's not so much kind of delivering it to the children as much anymore, but it's more making sure that all those other teachers are giving the children those opportunities that you were just talking about to just explore things. And especially with computing, the laptop's not going to blow up just let them have a play, let them explore these different applications, give them a range of experiences, give them an iPad, tell them to go out and make a short film and see what they come up with, and then we can discuss skills and things afterwards. I think so much of it is about just giving them the experience and giving them the trust to just say, have a go. This is what we're kind of aiming towards. This is our goal, but we're going to have a go. We're going to explore lots of different things first before we start to tighten up on those skills, and then we can move forward then. But like you say, I think that it's that growth mindset of, it's fine. If I get something wrong, that's how I learn. That's how I learn to do it better next time, and we develop on that. And it's something that as adults, I think we kind of get trained out of as we get older.
And I think it's not even so the teachers get not only pressure from the school system in general, but Ofsted. Ofsted's a real dirty word for me, because it's like, I don't understand how
say it in hushed tones.
Ofsted. It's like they have such it's a checklist of how to grade a school, but every student is different and every school is different, so you can't put them all into one classification of this is an excellent school. But just because they might do something different to an excellent school doesn't mean they're not just as good. So yeah, I've got a personal beef with Ofsted. I'm not a big fan of it.
Many teachers
but then
do.
Also for teachers as well. Yeah, and I think you see it on the inside, because it just makes that the teachers' hard work that they put into their daily troubles and long hours that they're doing. My cousins are all teachers, so I've seen it firsthand as well. And it's like they're not given the room to just be playful and explore things. And it not only comes from teaching, but not only Ofsted, but also parents as well. Because if the parents don't understand what the teachers are trying to do something new, with Lego, for example, then they will then suddenly have another body of a group of angry people saying, why are you teaching my children how to build Lego? And it's like, we're not teaching them how to build Lego. You're teaching them the skills of life through Lego. So learning how to talk to one another, learning how to deal with problems and how to deal with challenges that you don't know how to deal with firsthand. But yeah, I could talk about it for hours, and I won't bore you too much with it tonight, but
maybe one day we'll just do a teacher talk episode. But I think
it's difficult.
I think just very quickly adding on that, you say pressures from parents. Since COVID, that pressure has just gone through the roof, because through COVID, you had to have all these different ways of communicating, because you can't just catch people at the end of the day, and you can't just discuss children on a daily basis. And so emails and things start coming through. And nowadays it is just, my emails are, I feel like I could do a whole day worth of just responding to emails before I even get into the classroom. And so there, like you say, there are pressures everywhere. And I think it is key to kind of communicate why you're doing something to the parents so that they understand. But no, I think obviously what you're doing is amazing, and especially from a teacher point of view, it's so important for the kids to have those opportunities. So yeah, I think it's amazing, and it sounds incredible being able to kind of go over to Bulgaria and kind of start that afresh over there as well, which is really cool.
It's certainly been a journey. It's been difficult at times, because the teachers here, a lot of them are from like an older generation of teaching, where it's very much, I tell you the facts, you write them down, you put them in the exam, you get the check, you get the points, well done. There's a whole new generation of younger teachers that are doing the same as that we are doing. It's more about now skills and what are you going to need to go into adulthood. But yeah, it's a real mixed bag. Sometimes it really is great to find older teachers, as long as they're happy to change and to try something different. Sometimes they're like, no, this isn't for me. I don't want to use it. And it's like, okay, fine. Your students will, but if I can't convince you in the next couple of days of training that it still won't work, then I'm sorry, I can't help. But if you want help, I'm here for you. And yeah, I'm sure it's the same in the UK. It's not just Bulgarian teachers. It's like, it's an expensive product that puts people off. It's something new. If they don't understand it themselves, that also terrifies a lot of people, because they just don't understand how they could then teach it. But the biggest thing that we say at the end of every training is, If you don't understand it, play with it. And that scares a lot of people because they don't want to be seen as not knowing something in the classroom. Where it's like, well, if you play with the students and learn at the same time, then everyone learns something. But that's a very different way of teaching that we really want to push, but it's not what you're taught at university. It's not what you're taught at teacher training. So we get it. It's a different way of thinking, and step by step we'll get that.
It's very difficult to kind of change those mindsets with some teachers, but you keep trying to push it. Okay, Josh, I think we kind of covered the next question there, so I'll kind of skip onto the one after.
Yeah.
Jamie, we've kind of seen you mention in some of your videos before that your kind of goal is to eventually become a full-time content creator, and that's something that you kind of aspire to. So what is kind of the plan moving forward? I know we kind of had a very quick conversation before we started recording, but what is your kind of plan with your channel and other things moving forward to kind of achieve that goal?
Fabulous question, because I honestly have no idea. My social channel very much started as a way to connect with the community during the pandemic. I started on Instagram. I started just sharing photos of Lego builds and then how you can use it to teach your students something. So it could be a Lego model of a castle, and this is what you can then teach in history. So you can use this picture and then inspire your students to learn through Lego. And that's where it all started. And then it wasn't until about a year and a half ago I kind of dabbled in TikTok a little bit on my own personal channel, shared some robotics, shared some things I'd done before. And then I kind of went, it's not really for me, TikTok. It was still early days just after it, from Musical.ly to TikTok. So it was still a lot of just teenagers dancing. I was like, it's not for me. And then 2020 pandemic, well, it was actually towards the end of the year, I then started on TikTok because I suddenly found a lot of people had a lot of time on their hands, apparently. There was this whole global problem going on. And everyone was then started sharing their Lego. And it's like what they're doing with their Lego. But because I didn't have Lego with me, because all my Lego's still in the UK, I've got a few sets in Bulgaria, but nothing really here. I was like, well, what can I do for the Lego community that I can then talk about? And for me, it was the knowledge of what Lego is and where it came from and like the Easter eggs and all that sort of stuff that I'm a massive nerd for. My Lego collection, I have about 40 Lego sets, if that. Like, I have a very small Lego collection for a Lego TikToker, a Lego social media person. And so for me, it was like, well, what can I do that's a bit different? And I was very fortunate at the time that on TikTok, no one was really talking about the history of Lego or what they do as a company and all this sort of stuff. On YouTube was filled with content creators like this. So Just Too Good is a big inspiration of mine. He's got a big knowledge of Lego, and then you've got M&S Productions. You've also got I think it's called Science Bricks or Tech Bricks, but they do some really cool like Lego experiments with Lego sets and science experiments. And then you've got JK Brickworks, which is like, for me, is like a god of Lego construction because his robotics is insane. And if I could be one like making robots like him one day, I'd be a very happy boy. But my knowledge of engineering is not on that level. So that's where it all started from. So to kind of showcase what you can do with Lego in the classroom. And then TikTok was about sharing my knowledge and history of the brick and Lego. So going forward, I kind of see my channel as more of like a base of inspiration for other creators to start making videos. Because there's only so much Lego history out there. Like, I kind of feel like for what I want to share, I've spoken about it already on the channel. And I don't want to then start rehashing content because I'm bored of my own videos, basically. So minifigures and new sets that are coming out, but then I know we've spoken just before, but obviously going traveling in the next couple of months, my channel's going to be a bit dead. I'm not going to be creating content, really. So I've been able to manage this to build this amazing audience, which I'm so grateful for. Like 160,000 people as of today I never thought I would get to that level, just talking about Lego, like without a big Lego collection, but just sharing what I know. I am so grateful for the comments, interactions, everything. So you guys especially invited me onto the podcast today. It's like, I'm just a bit of a Lego nerd, and I never thought I'd get the audience that I did. And I want to be able to then use that to do some good with it. So if I can inspire people to get their Lego collection out, if they haven't built for a while, to film it, to make some content, and if they don't have a big audience, share it on my channel that does have an audience, so they can then create content to then share with the AFOL community, because it's, as I said, it's a community. Like AFOLs, it's all about being part of this group of like-minded people. Like, we all love Lego for many different reasons, and some of us have been lucky with social media, and some people are just like, the videos don't take off because the algorithm, as we know, is a nightmare sometimes. Like, some videos work, some don't. And I've seen some amazing videos and they've only got a couple of thousand followers. And it's like, well, you're just not being lucky with the algorithm. Doesn't mean your builds aren't good, but it's just the way of TikTok, unfortunately. So if I can help those videos get out there and build their audience by pushing them over to their new accounts, then that's where I see my account go. Obviously, I still want to share my own stuff. I love creating videos. That's why I do it. I love making stupid videos of like minifigures and like interacting with Josh, for example, and saying he's my twin, and clone, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, if I can use it as more of a platform to get people into just building, not even becoming social media people, but if you've created something, like I posted a video, I'm not sure when this is going to be released particularly, but Monday night, I've posted a video of this Smaug build, which is like a big articulated head, which looks insane. And more news on that coming, because I've been speaking with the creator for it and he's got some exciting plans. But it's like, he's not on TikTok, he's only on Instagram. And he's got a couple of thousand followers on Instagram. But if you're not on Insta, you're not going to see it if you're on TikTok. And it's like, well, let's show it off on here, because why not? And it's like, yeah, it's a long story short. Sorry for waffling on. I have a real bad tendency to do this. I want my channel to become more of a community. And yes, I've applied for the Lego community platform ambassador thing. They've said no twice. And it's like, okay, that's fine. I'll just do my own thing. I don't need Lego's approval. I'll just do it by myself. So hopefully it will be that sort of number one place you go to on TikTok if you want to see builds from the community. That's my ultimate goal. That's what I'd love.
That's awesome. I think it's really cool that you kind of noticed that you have this massive platform, and that instead of thinking, oh, I'm going to build on that platform, it's, I want to share other people's work and I kind of want to get as many people into it as possible. And I think that's, we've discussed it before, that's always been our view on it, on things like likes and followers, and we've both been through kind of slumps where, and I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, where I started to think about, well, why am I now getting less views or less likes on something? And then it's kind of reassessing and going, actually, why am I doing this in the first place? I'm doing this because I like making videos and I like talking about Lego. So let's get back to that and get back to just sharing as much as possible of stuff that you love. And I think that's a really good way of doing it.
Yeah. And I think, as I said, we've all been there. It's like, you get a video that just pops, and then the next couple of weeks, it just, nothing happens. And it's like, why? And I've always said to myself, I'm not bothered about the numbers. But I wouldn't be on TikTok if I wasn't a little bit bothered about the numbers, because you want to be able to share things and know that it's doing something. Like, it's not for me about the creator fund. It's not about turning it into a job. I just want to know that I'm putting time into something that is doing something good for the community. And when, for whatever reason, the video doesn't get many views, I'm always a bit like, oh, that's a shame, because I enjoyed making it, and I'm now a bit put off that someone else can't now enjoy it because the app is the app. I'm not bothered that it didn't get the views based on someone else's views. It's just, oh, okay, well, that meant that someone didn't see it. And that's what bothers me a little bit, because it's like, but it's difficult with social media, because we're all a tiny bit, I don't want to say the word egotistical, because it's not that's too strong of a word, but we make the videos not only for ourselves, but also for the enjoyment of others. And when you know someone isn't enjoying it because of whatever reason, it does put you off a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like getting a sense of pride, isn't it? When you upload something to TikTok or Instagram and, people like it and their response to it is fantastic. You get a sense of pride because you're putting your time and effort into that and people are enjoying it. And then, like you say, when it doesn't get maybe the response you want due to the algorithm or other factors, it may seem a little bit deflating because you're putting in this much time and effort for it, but you're maybe not getting the kind of avenues and audience that you want it to reach just because of the way it works. So it makes perfect sense, really. Yeah.
And it's like, I always say to people, it's like, don't especially with TikTok, don't do it for the views and the follow. It's like, because you're going to just end up disappointed. It's the problem is it's very much do as I say, not as I do, because I say this to people, but then I get caught in my own head with the numbers, because it's like, oh, okay, well, that's just the way it is. But if you're a new TikToker, just keep posting. Just because some videos don't go, don't stop creating content just because the numbers aren't doing well, because one day it will, and that's just the way the app works. So yeah. But again, I could waffle on about TikTok for hours, which I won't do tonight.
Something stuck with me there, because you were talking about when you kind of joined initially, and it was just teenagers doing silly dances. I think I've told this story before, but I'll do it really quickly. That the reason why I joined TikTok was because someone in my class had told me that it's not just teenagers doing dances, because someone had mentioned it to me before, and I had kind of dismissed it straight away as no, like, I'm not going to get on there and like hold my Lego sets and start dancing. And one of the girls in my class turned around, they were like, "Oh, Mr. Thomas, have you been? Are you on TikTok?" And I was like, "No, why would I be on TikTok?" And they're like, "Oh, there's loads of Lego on there. There's loads of people doing Lego." And so then I kind of went home that night and downloaded it and started scrolling through. And I was like, "Oh my god, there is actually loads of Lego on here." And then I was like, well, maybe I'll just record myself building a set. And I did that and just spiraled out of control from there.
And now we're here. So when did you guys start TikTok? Was it pandemic time? Was it in the last year or so? Because I know I've only really found you guys recently.
I guess, yeah, okay. I guess I'll answer that one, because in terms of timeline and stuff, I'm still relatively new to this. I mean, I've been doing this for less than 12 months. You know, January 2023 will be my 1 year TikTok anniversary. So since I started posting regularly on TikTok and I started posting content, I've been doing it in less than 12 months. And I was able to recently achieve my goal, which was 1,000 likes before my 1 year anniversary. And as of today, I've reached over 12,200 likes across all my videos, which for me, I'm one of those small content creators who I post the stuff that I love, whether it gets engagement or not. It doesn't bother me. I do it because I love it, and I know that my journey as a content creator has been very up and down. When I first started doing TikTok, I kind of used it to promote my YouTube channel, but obviously TikTok doesn't like you to go away from TikTok. Obviously, then when I noticed things like that and the engagement was very low, I kind of changed up my content and things like that. And TikTok as a whole has allowed me as a creator to grow. It's allowed me to be very creative, and it's kind of become something that I never anticipated would become a day-to-day thing in my life, but it is now very much a consistent day-to-day thing. And I have been quite fortunate, really, because I've been able to engage with some absolutely amazing content creators. I mean, obviously, Jamie, you and I joke about how you and I look very similar, and, you know, people always say, "Oh, you're the Brick Educator, oh, you're the Galaxy of Bricks," and things like that. So that always makes me laugh. But to be compared to somebody like you, who, when I first started doing TikTok and I first started doing that, I had a bit of a strange goal, and it was, I had a list of content creators that I would love to have done a collaboration with or engage with and do videos with. And then when I started my Late Night Lego, which, I mean, people love Late Night Lego when I do come on and do it, and it's a good platform for results, a bit like this.
Where is it from? That's what I don't know. Why is it? I mean,
to be fair, like, my day job has a kind of taken a bit of overtaken me a lot more. And I think what I love about Late Night Lego is it's a very sporadic thing. You don't know when it's going to happen, but when it does happen, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. And doing Late Night Lego means I have been able to not only get, I wouldn't say a diehard and cult following, but I've got a lot of people who are asking, where's Late Night Lego? Where's it gone? Why hasn't Galaxy of Bricks here? But also, it's meant that all the people in Lego Talk that I've been inspired by and I've loved their content, I've got to interact with them. I mean, obviously, you and I, Sam, we talk on a regular basis because you were one of the first people that I collaborated with when I started doing this, and we kind of became friends through that. And then obviously, you know, Just 15 Bricks, Seamus, who we've had on the pod. You've got people like Michael Bishop, the all-time Yashin, Pod Bricks, Bricksborough, people like that who we all, and, you know, people who we all see on our TikToks day to day. I've got to become friends with these people, and it's nice to know that TikTok has become not just a hobby and a place to kind of post your content. It's very much what you said, Jamie. It's a place for community. You become a small community. And I myself am grateful that TikTok has allowed me as a content creator to interact with these people. And I mean, Brickfest, I got to meet some of the people that I've been talking to on a computer screen and a phone screen for like the last 12 months. So it's nice. And for me, the last 12 months have been interesting, and I'm glad that I've done TikTok, because I wouldn't be where I am as a content creator without that random chance to engage on TikTok. And I look at my earlier videos and I look at my videos now and I think, wow, I certainly have come a really, really long way since then. So for me, TikTok has been nothing but fun, really.
Definitely.
How about you, Sam?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess, I don't know if you call it a late adopter, but pandemic for me was more about drawing. So prior to teaching, I did a degree in digital art. So that's kind of where my skill set lies, outside of doing this, I guess. And so I set up a channel. So if anybody wants to watch me draw cartoons badly on YouTube, I set up a channel on YouTube called Digital Doodles. And the idea behind that was that I was kind of doing draw along videos that I would then do with my class during pandemic. Because those of you that don't know, during the pandemic, schools were still open and I was still working full time. And so the kids would come in and we'd start off the day by drawing together. And so I started recording videos. And so that was kind of my introduction to, I guess, creating social media platform for myself. And then when pandemic kind of slowed down and I'd realized I'd accumulated a lot of Lego through the pandemic, that's when I started to think about joining TikTok. So it was only in March this year that I posted my first TikTok. So I'm still way away from my year anniversary. But yeah, I think the same as Josh. I think it's one of those things that I enjoyed at the start, but it's kind of the community that's built around it that's kept me wanting to continue producing things, doing things like this. I mean, I think the podcast was first mentioned months and months ago between myself and Josh, that it was something that eventually we'd like to kind of get into. Because for me, it's more about meeting like-minded people and talking to like-minded people about the things that we enjoy doing. It's almost that the TikTok comes at the actual creating the videos is a secondary to viewing other people's and being inspired by other people's work, seeing what everybody else is getting up to. That's the big thing that kind of keeps me going with it, which is cool. I really enjoy it.
I completely agree. When videos are that secondary platform, and it's like the videos bring in new people, but what you've created is the community of like friends and family that just love sharing with each other. And yeah, I kind of almost wish that TikTok, obviously there's that Discord and things like that, but I'm an old man now, I can't get my head around Discord. But for me, TikTok's just the way to kind of see what people are building, what are they up to, jump on a live, have a chat, do podcasts like this. And yeah, I'm very, very grateful for the platform.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we've got one more. Josh, have you got one more question to go for this one, and then we can move on to
to be honest with you, Jamie must have a sixth sense, because he's kind of covered a lot of the topics that we were going to answer. He's answered very candidly and very honestly. And I would say, obviously, Jamie, you mentioned it yourself. You've got like 160,000 followers on TikTok and things like that. You are. We all know you. You are one of the main people that always appears on our FYPs, and obviously you've mentioned what you've mentioned what your kind of your goal is with your channel and things like that. What advice would you offer to people who maybe are looking at going into, say, becoming content creators, or they're interested in doing, obviously, like you said, you're a freelancer of sorts for Lego, so you're not actually officially a Lego employee, but you have had experience with Lego. What advice would you offer to people who are interested in maybe pursuing something like that, or getting into TikTok, or maybe just sharing their content?
It's a fab question. I think with Lego particularly, it's just knowing the brand values is key if you want to work for Lego. So you have to be passionate about, obviously, the brand and knowing what their goals are. So for me, it's about creativity and learning. So that's kind of my area of Lego. If you want to become like a Lego designer, it's about looking at things in a new way. So the designers they've been creating Lego sets. They know what they're doing. That works for them. But what Lego are always looking for is the next new thing. So if you can be creating something that Lego haven't already done, that's going to get you a real good place within the Lego company, because they want innovation, they want a fresh idea. And as long as you're passionate about it and you know that that's what you want to do, that's going to really get you on a good place if you want to work for the Lego company particularly. In terms of social media, again, the same. It's kind of find something that you're passionate about and just go for it. If you're doing it to appease the app, the audience will know. The audience will know you're trying to do it to get likes and to get interactions. And you will burn yourself out trying to chase the algorithm. Because videos, as we've said already, some pop, some don't. And that's just how social media is. You can't get guaranteed views even if you're posting very similar content. And then finding a niche is really important. Well, at least it was for me. Like finding something that wasn't already being talked about, but people wanted to hear about. Whereas if you, like, I know a lot of creators, especially like Lego creators, they have amazing Lego cities, but they're not quite sure how to show it in a new way. So it's about finding a creative way to show it rather than just filming, this is my collection, because it's like, one, people will be like, that's amazing. And two, people will be like, I will never achieve that, so I'm not interested in watching it. So it's about showing how you can get there by not having a unlimited supply of A, Lego, B, cash to buy it in the first place. So showing that you can create content with the Lego that you have already is very important, because it doesn't then make the bar too high that you can't reach, but it makes it enough so you can inspire to get there one day. That's especially with Lego TikTok especially. I think if TikTok social media in general, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, it's just back to that, yeah, find your passion and just go for it. If people sense your passion, they will follow and they will comment and like it. And if they can see that you want to then create content, then you will continue to do well. It doesn't work for everyone, and that's unfortunately video creation and content creation in the first place, but just go for it. And that's it is. Bit rubbish advice, but that's all I can say. It's like, that's what I did. I know that's what you guys did as well. It's like, you try it one day and then just keep at it. That's all I can say with it. That's what yeah.